let's get started here. Hey, Cross! Let's get started here. First of all, there are some mods running. As far as I can tell, the mods... Traffic Present gives you a warning when you come in. It's like, whoa, this is a new version, but maybe... As far as I can tell, everything's working okay with the mods. Over on YouTube, the announcement video I made for this live stream includes a list of all the mods that are in there. Mostly, they're just like a few... there's one to help maybe like alter traffic a little bit. And then a few visual things and little things like that. Nothing super mega significant. This map here is called Lone Bay Universal. It is from the Twitch Workshop. It was seems to be a relatively highly rated map. I haven't played it before. This is literally the first time I've loaded it in, and I'm looking forward to giving it a try. It's actually got a pretty well developed highway system with extensive sort of on and off ramps in various areas over here for more natural expansion. So that'll be nice, but it does have a giant bay here, a lot of broken islands. It should be interesting, I think, to build on this map. Looking forward to it if we can. Another tip that came in from Joe Luoto! Of course, Joe Luoto, I still remember you from our Darkest Dungeon runs, man. That was fantastic. Just a small token for whiskey and chocolate, but thank you very much, Joe Luoto. Do you have any suggestions on how to get better FPS or City Skylines? Well, I don't know. That's actually one of the things that stopped me from playing for a while, because I was frustrated that specifically bike lanes apparently were really crushing the FPS. So I will be trying to avoid that a little bit more, but yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe other people have some suggestions, but that's that. Alright, so we're going to get started. One of the things I do have is the built-in mod / option or whatever of unlocking all milestones. So we can build everything right from the start. Also, because all the milestones were unlocked, every time you unlock a milestone, you get some money. So we're starting off with a good pocket of money. But we're going to burn through this insanely fast because all the milestones are unlocked, people require police, fire, education, hospitals, everything like that right from the start. So you have to build all your services very early on before your city is even starting to be developed. I think I would like to avoid having sort of everything smashed together. I think I'd like the idea of maybe a little bit more separated little sub-communities if we can. So we'll see if we can do something like that. One of the things to check out is the natural resources on this map. Oh, okay, so these little color-coded areas here in the ground. Now, here's the thing. Most likely, the map developer put the resources in these patches just to make them look like farm field, because the resources colorize the terrain, right? So that's why we get these colored squares. But they do actually all have resources, and we do have the option to consider building on them for oil or whatever. That being said, I think I would like to maybe just limit it to like fertile land. Now, here's one of the things. We could make all these areas be industry zoned to fertile lands. The ones that don't actually have access to fertile land, that's okay. They won't plant or raise crops, but they will still have food processing in these areas. So that's something to consider. Or we could leave those areas simply empty because they're awfully pretty. We can decide about what to do there. Nami Naja, thank you very much for the tip. Hey, Quill, found your stream. Been watching for a long time. Here's my contribution to the fund. Love from Sweden. Well, thank you very much, Nami. And I can now announce I will be in Sweden in like a week-ish from now. Yeah, a week from now, I'm going to be in Sweden. I'm going to be in Stockholm for the Paradox fan meeting event that they are holding there. Myself, A Kiss for Luck, Marbazir, and someone else whose name I don't remember as a YouTuber I'm not familiar with, are going to be there as special guests to, you know, party up with you people. So hopefully you guys have gotten your tickets for that event already. It's going to be a blast, the multiplayer gaming. We're going to be playing some games all night long. And so, yeah, that's going to be fantastic. I don't know if I'll have the opportunity to do an individual fan meetup for myself, but we'll play that one by ear. Not a Roomba. It's someone, I think someone German maybe, with like 15,000 subs or something like that. Certainly not an English language YouTube channel, which is why I'm really not familiar with them. So you guys can check the announcement on the Paradox forum. Anyway, let's go ahead and start building over here and see what we can do. This map would be great for a tsunami. Oh yeah, you're right. So here's what I'm thinking. With the highway that is lovely, and look at this, they even have some old abandoned warehouses on this map. Check it out, like broken windows and things. Like this map starts with some stuff there. Presumably is why maybe some of these roads existed. What I'm thinking with this highway is I think I'm going to come off this and make kind of a circle over here. You know, it's not necessarily, you know, the most functional kind of setup, but I think it would be interesting. I mean, there's no reason to do that. I could just have it come out and do a little U-turn and come back. That would probably be a lot more functional, a lot easier to, like, build up. But I think it might be nice to try something more like that. What do you think? Oh, yes, over here we've got radio stations and things that can be tuned. It's not playing right now. I can toggle the music on and off. Oh, there we go. City radio. I have music turned on. Yeah. Might not play all the time. Oh! I think I cut out too early. Oh, that's quite nice. There you go, a little bit of classic. Yeah, no, I'm not going to blow up the warehouses. I'm going to leave them here. They're going to be interesting. People can use it. This is not a scenario. This is a normal game. There are scenarios that ship with natural disaster as well. Fitmongo Bogora, thank you very much for the tip. Have you seen what YouTubers like Strict Toaster, Fresh Popcorn, and Flux Trans have done in City Skylines during this year? It's beyond stunning. No, I haven't been following all of those, but I know that Toaster in particular does some nice maps. Alright. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sort of build kind of a circly area over here. In some fashion. I don't know if I want an exact circle. I don't know if I want kind of a pill form. You know, but I want something. So, do I actually want to use, like, the arc tool? Maybe. Oops. But snapping... Hold on, I'm confused. Oh, it doesn't show me blocks with this tool. Oh, that's quite interesting. Because normally... Oops. Normally when you're putting down a road, let's say I'm doing here, and I'm using the curve tool, I get the grid like that shows me, you know, basically block length. And you can use that to judge your curves, but I can't do that with the highway because you can't actually build on the highway. Which is going to make it a lot harder to build anything that's vaguely symmetrical-ish. Well, that's not true. I could do it with, like, some pre-placement roads, but... whatever. We'll just eyeball things. It's fine. And actually, if I use the freeform tool, I might actually be happier with that. There you go. So, it's not in any way going to be an even circle, but that's what we're going to start with. It's fine. It's fine. Vote for roads like octagons. Oh, that might be interesting, too. We can sort of use different shapes in different places. I've thought once of, like, making every neighborhood the shape of a letter. A, B, C, D, and just go through there. This could be the Q neighborhood, but I don't think that's what we're going to go for over here. So, if we're limiting, basically, if this is going to be kind of a standalone neighborhood, and it's kind of building up there, I mean, I don't see this as connecting to more stuff anywhere. I think it's going to be, there's not going to be that much traffic hardship. Everything gets on and off the highway, and as long as we don't have too many intersections on the highway here, it's going to be fine. And I think, like, I don't think I'm even going to work on, like, on and off ramps on this highway. I think we're just going to do something like take either a 6-lane or even just a 4-lane avenue off of this for the individual neighborhoods. That should be perfectly fine. Yeah, it's not supposed to be a circle. It's sort of an egg shape, but, you know, sort of round, natural shapes. I'm actually happier that it's not an exact circle. A little bit more of a kidney bean shape. It's just very sort of naturalistic. So I think something like that. Do the alphabet neighborhoods? Well, I suppose we could consider it. So we could, if people wanted something like that, I could make this maybe more explicitly like a Q. If I started off with a big 6-lane road right there, but not use 6-lane roads anywhere else. You know, use this as a bit of a signature thing right there. And then other than that, just use somewhat like smaller... Oh, hold on, that was not the 6-lane. You know, or figure out like the most visible way to do the little Q tail. Well, you know what? Hold on. I could just consider this a Q-ish. Not really, though. I don't like it. I don't like it. I think we'd be forcing the letter thing. So what I'm looking to do is not care too much about, like, you know, crazy intersections on the highway, and just do something like... hang on. I don't want it there. I know, we're spending a fair amount of money, but that's okay. It's only money, you guys. I want it more like this, and then through here, and like this, and through there, and then I want one more connection that goes kind of like this, and extends outwards. There we go. So this is how people will get on and off the highway, navigate around this little neighborhood, and that's going to be fine. And then the rest of the road system, then I'll probably just go to a smaller set of roads. We'll just be feeding in and out of this. And I think we won't make too many straights. Other than this, I think what we might do is try to follow the curve of the highway a little bit. You know, something like that. Got some stones over here, which we'll probably keep in. What I'm gonna do is hold off on that, bring a road out over here that follows that, then get this to come in over here. Excellent. So there's gonna be some empty space, but that's okay. Lots of green spaces. I mean, we're gonna grid this up. So this is gonna be, and I'm gonna keep using the tree type roads. We're spending more money, but that's all right. And I think what we're really looking for here something like this. There we go. We want to avoid having the extra connection here, because that could lead to more traffic. We want, as much as possible, to keep subdividing the traffic is the goal, right? Some people come off the highway here, some people go off this way, then they subdivide left or right for different things, you know, and then over here some people split in there. Well, most of the traffic is going to go here to there, but no, some of it's going to go this way, so we're sort of splitting that up, I think, relatively balanced. I think that's going to be all right. And do we want another neighborhood in here? I think we do. I think what we want to do is we can fit this just like this. So trying to get to avoid having the roads overlap the buildable zones, because we do have a little bit of a shortage of space. But another thing to consider, really not going to fit in much over there. You know what? Go ahead and connect over here. That's fine. Is leaving room for pedestrian traffic can really cut back on a lot of hardship. So that's probably not a bad idea. I don't remember where the pedestrian paths are. I thought they were in this category. You guys have to remind me where the... because these are all just roads. I really thought it was in the nature category. Under terrain altering. Oh, so they've changed some things now. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Pavement path for pedestrians. Excellent. Or the gravel paths. So, by doing something like this... there we go. Traffic can't go here. Doesn't create an intersection. But people who live here that want to go here can now just walk there. It's very nice for getting onto public transit as well. Sometimes it can be a little tricky to get it to snap the way you want because you don't actually connect it to the road itself. You just got to get it close so that it blobs together. So now people can walk through there as well. Very, very handy dandy. Plus it can look nice, you know, simply to build these sort of little walking paths for people in your green spaces as you build little parks. Yeah, something like that. I think that's swell. Okay, so that'll be a good start. Let's figure out... we're going to do the rest of the neighborhood, obviously, at some point. But for now, let's get it started. So we need some power. Ooh. No access to the super duper easy, like, super wind. Because none of these are going to generate as much power as we might like. It still might be a good way to get started. They're also kind of noisy, so we might build them a little bit over here, further from the houses. Coal plant. I mean, I really want, like, you know, a nice setup. I want to build a solar plant to get started, maybe? It's a day-night cycle. What do we think? Cool it is, says Juna. Maybe. I mean, we can always, like, revert it later on, right? And especially if this ends up being more of an industrial area over here, we won't be quite as bothered. Well, here's one of the questions we might want to answer is, what's our water flow like? I mean, and that is going to be a problem, because where are we going to dump the sewage to? This bay doesn't seem... I mean, we haven't had it unpaused for a while. assuming the water comes down from here, and I'm sure it does, probably we can pick up the water over here and dump it out, say, further out here. It'll drift out to sea, but it's not really the ideal. Probably build an actual water treatment plant right from the start. Actually, that's probably an excellent idea to filter out the water. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to bring the water from over here. Build a dam. Yeah, this map is supposed to be very dammable as well. But that'll come later. So we're going to do that. And maybe what I'll do is... so yeah, I'll build a water treatment plant. And I can build it further off, like off on this island over here. Because, I mean, unless we want to remove the stone and things, it's not like we can build a whole lot of housing here anyway. So I think I like the idea of building this way out over here. So we're going to dump, you know, not quite so polluted water in there. It's still not great, but it'll be mostly clean. And at least it'll be further away from the town. So we'll get this hooked up. Still have to figure out the power situation. So I wanted to do the water first because if we do build, say, coal, for example, I want to make sure that we're not polluting the ground where we're getting water from. If we have to go that way. Boop, boop, boop. This is not optimal overlap minimization. You want to build your segment 440 units off, or not units, but cost-wise, and then that's like perfect for no overlap on things. So I'll start with that. Okay, power situation. So, wind turbines on the water treatment island. Oh, you know what? You're right. It is actually quite a bit more windy out here, which is nice. And including, we do have a corner where we can actually get the advanced turbines working well, which is good. So yeah, you know what? I think we will cover this island with wind turbines. And I think that will work out quite nicely. So I'll just drop 2 for now. That's going to be fine. And then we'll run power across here. Now, I'm not going to want the power in the middle later on, but for now, because I'm going to develop this neighborhood first, I'm going to prioritize just getting power over here in some way. And then we'll get rid of the power after. All right, so zoning-wise, yeah, I think I want to do industry over here. You know, far away from that, and people as they go to and from work can just basically drive down this big road. And what's nice about this is our actual the industrial zones tend to have a lot of trucks that come in and out of town, but they can do that on the highway. I mean, coming in town, they're going to do this. So they're going to be on the road for a fairly long time. They may even decide to take a right over here, which I don't know if I would appreciate too much, but at least getting out of town is fine. We'll take a look at the traffic patterns after that. We could always do like sort of a shortcut where we feed a line off here, do a tunnel, and then have it pop up over here to feed the industrial zone. So let's make kind of a boring looking block over here for the industrial zone. Oh yeah, tram tracks. Just right off this. That is going to be very much just a square sort of grid structure. And I think that's going to be fine. You are going to be on the straight tool. I think here we need 1 extra space, yeah, for the overlap to work as well as possible over here. And then something like that. So this is going to be a very boring looking area. Let's actually do this and that. Brr. Doesn't line up exactly the same. Oh, it's got bicycle lanes on this one. I didn't realize I was doing the bicycle lane version. It's not really what I want. Okay, tell you what, do this, then do that. And I'll leave that in there, but I'm considering trimming it off. Okay. Oh, I built it a little too long. I actually like the gap normally because I can plant some trees in there. Do I want this one to be a little bit longer? Nah, let's just leave it. It's okay. All right, so this is going to be an industrial zone. We need to have a place where people can work. It's going to be that. It might lead to the pollution going into the water if we build too close. We'll have to consider that for the future. I mean, I actually like bike lanes. The problem is, like, bike lanes are actually really good for reducing traffic. But as we found out in one of our more recent games, bike lanes apparently crush your game performance. I think there's like more pathfinding considerations that happen. So I'm replacing it with just normal lanes over here. So we're gonna get that. That's gonna be fine. So over here we're gonna focus mostly just on residential. And in fact, what I think I'm gonna do is I can't really use the paint bucket tool too much because of the irregularity here, which is kind of annoying. There we go. Tell you what, do something like this. Mark it all residential, but then I'm going to take things away because we are, of course, going to need some commercial. Now, the highway is a little bit louder, So we don't want residents to be along the highway, and it becomes a really appropriate place to put commercial stuff over here. So even over here, want to avoid any housing that's too close to the highway. Oh yeah, there's rail access over here too. We'll have to consider later on. So I'm just going to put down some commercial here. And that'll probably be plenty to get started. And I'm going to try to avoid having too much on the central road over here, because especially in this little spit here, I don't want anyone to pull over and stop to like restock a commercial district in an area that's actually going to see a fair amount of traffic here. And this being a relatively short road segment is not entirely ideal, but we'll see how it goes. So, having decided that, that's not bad. Let's get down a few of our services first before we unpause, because there will definitely be a demand. I think we'll build a couple of clinics. I'm going to build them sort of on this main road over here, so that ambulances can get around a little bit easier. Going to get a pair of those. We're going to get probably just one crematorium. And you know what? I'm going to build that here. What do we have here? Sauna. Medical helicopter depot. Helicopters. They've got that for fire, too. Send out helicopters, pick up patients, and take them to hospitals that have landing pads. Helicopters can reach locations of road access and help avoid traffic jams. At the end of the shift, helicopters return to the depot. Very cool. I do think you need the hospitals to work with that, not just clinics. We've got a fire watch tower. Firefighters man the fire watch tower to spot forest fires early. The sooner fires are spotted, the faster they can be put out. Forest fire can spread into the city if it reaches city buildings. Hills and mountains can affect visibility from the tower. Forest fires can only be put out by firefighting helicopters. And this is our firefighting helicopter depot. Oh! Disaster services. Disaster response unit. Small emergency shelter. Large emergency shelter. Short radio mast. Allows emergency broadcasts to reach your citizens. The better radio coverage the city has, the more likely citizens are to come to shelters when called. Terrain can hinder radio signals. Tall radio mast. Earthquake sensor. To get warning of seismic activity, the sensors detect not only earthquakes, but also if a sinkhole is forming. Sensors show you the approximate location of a disaster well before it is happening. That's handy. Tsunami warning buoy. Weather radar. Deep space radar for meteor strikes. I'm sure we won't need any of that. It's fine. So let's build a fire station to cover this neighborhood. The industrial zone will definitely need one as well. Do I want to build it on this little area? I think that's probably okay. Now I'm going to build it a little further in. Again, we'll try to avoid having too many things over there. We're going to get a police station here. Police prison, but there's also a police helicopter depot as well. I think one police station should cover this area just fine. I'm not going to worry about the industrial zone for now. We will need some schools here, and we will need 2 to cover everything, but also we will need it for the just the range and such later on too. Let's see if I can stick it somewhere on the outside of this. It's hard because of the curve. I'm gonna. Do I start with 2? It's fine. Now, we got to make sure we don't go bankrupt. We will need a high school relatively soon as well. Do we build a bus line right away? Very, very soon. I'm going to go and do the... we've got the zoning. We need to bring the electricity in. Oh, let me get a couple of parks in the area here. Just for some nice greenery. And if we've got this, then that will provide park services to one half. And then the other half over here. Alright, that's going to be fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unpause. And I'm going to see where the first houses show up. And that'll be where we have to make sure we run the power to. Build school right next to the highway, well done. Well, yeah, I mean, it's cheap land, right? That's what you do. You build things like schools near highways where no one wants to live because it's a lot cheaper. Under power lines, you know, on polluted land. So if we run the power very awkwardly over here and do that, that'll connect it up. Later on when we get more buildings up and running overall, we won't have to worry about the power lines because we're going to get this area in the middle populated, for example. That gets all that connected, which is lovely. And then we'll run the power line to over there. There we go. And that should get some power